Hi, my name is Kevin. I'm from the United States, but I've lived in China for many years. You know, when I first moved here, my friends asked me why. Well, the reason's quite simple. I've always been interested in Chinese history and culture. And I think that's derived from my childhood hobby of collecting porcelain. This exquisite porcelain always had some mysterious connection to somewhere far away in China. Where is this place? Where does porcelain come from? Would you like to find out? Then come along with me right now, and let's go to China.
Many years ago, during the time of the Silk Road, when traders would come into China, this town was called Changnan. It is said that the English word China is derived from this name. Changnan is the predecessor of Jingdezhen, and the latter is a city that enjoys the same reputation as China. Here you get to see porcelain everywhere. Do you see the wall in front of me? These porcelain pieces remind me of the porcelain vase that had the same pattern I once saw in one of those museums. Fascinating.
Oh wow, yeah， 好漂亮！哇，所以这是青花的，
青花的是元代的东西。啊，这个看起来比较老，这个是明代的。这都是明代的。
Wow, these are Ming Dynasty era porcelain bowls. This is amazing. Since I was a kid, I've always had an interest in porcelain products. Porcelain, once a kind of ordinary clay, can be crafted to become exquisite artifacts. How does such a change take place? I think I might just find the answer here in Jingdezhen. This is Phil, my old friend, who is also a great porcelain painting artist. Thanks to his introduction, I finally understand the most important element in porcelain making, the temperature.
And the beauty of it, because really what it is clay, and then color, and then glass, a thin coating of glass. And so when you fire those together, they create these beautiful.
In the West, we would look at these as broken pieces of no importance. But here, they actually they collect shards, and I've seen exhibitions of shards with just a broken piece like this. But it was so beautiful that it represents an era, it represents a human sort of or a moment in Jingdezhen.
Before I came to Jingdezhen, I could never have imagined using blue and white porcelain to decorate the floor. It is amazing. Thousands of years ago in Europe, blue and white porcelain was out of reach for the common people. In one of Giovanni Bernini's paintings, Banquet of the Gods, blue and white porcelain was depicted in graceful nobility next to the gods. But here in Jingdezhen, blue and white porcelain is widely used in daily life.
Wow, holy cow, what is this?
And then these are the fireballs.
Wow.
Rambling about, I see blue and white porcelain in various patterns. It turns out that everything can be made in the pattern of blue and white, and it is just gorgeous. I feel grateful to Phil for bringing me into this brand new world, where porcelain is no longer lifeless utensils, but a way of expression filled with enthusiasm and passion. I cannot imagine anywhere else, other than Jingdezhen, that makes a closer combination of art and life, and enriches porcelain with the color of life. It is said that Jing Dezhen's kiln never went dim and stopped manufacturing porcelain in the past thousands of years. And the art of ceramics has also been passing down for thousands of years, blooming even today. According to Exploitation of the Works of Nature, an ancient Chinese work on agriculture and handicrafts, there are 72 steps in making a single piece of porcelain. Yes, 72 steps. And all of them takes time and patience.
是怎么做的？这是做拉坯。怎么做的？我们可以来试试。啊，好吧。你先做好。
是这样。
大拇指放里面。
啊 ，OK。
要轻要稳。
非常难，非常难。
慢慢的放手。哎，这个我们做起来了。
This is the first time I've really done anything like this, making pottery with a hand-turned wheel here. That's amazing.
The first step of molding is stretching. A craftsman must have at least 10 years of experience to be good at stretching. And the most artistic step among the 72 steps of the procedure is the creativity in adding finishing touches and glazing. Use needles to paint on the bare base, gently imprinting the vines in floral patterns before glazing. After being glazed with new colors, the inspiration finally comes alive.
你像这个是茶叶，这个像眼这样的就是茶的果实，因为这个上面它比较稀料，它是泥，稀得很快。海文说的
对，你能看懂？
看懂，写的挺好的哈。
啊，谢谢谢谢。
这上釉，釉知道吧？釉就是很光泽，实际上很光泽亮丽的。
这一部分
烧这个釉就透明的玻璃。
啊，
这个黑色的就变成青色的了。
啊，
这是青花瓷的制作。眼睛看准碗口，什么地方没下去？干这个活就要干嘛？心静，手稳。用我们中国的语言讲叫恰到好处。
So I just applied a layer of glass outside of the Tsinghua design here. You'll see the design underneath the white and the blue. And this is a very delicate procedure. You have to be very delicate. You can't do too much or too little of every action. Everything has to be perfect.
这个碗就是我们汽车工艺到这个就成型了。
Oh yeah.
对，行了。
Now I'm gonna try to get the DJ wheel spinning here.
The kiln fire is the last natural force that nurtures ceramics. The temperature of the fire decides whether the clay would turn out into fine porcelain and what quality the porcelain would be. The sagger, which holds the piece in the kiln, will be baked together.
它应该非常大。Oh wow, these are exactly like the containers I've seen before. Whenever they're firing this porcelain, they put the porcelain inside of these containers to protect it because it's fired at such a high temperature that it needs a barrier between it and the fire around it.
And the master told me that they generally save the best spot in the kiln for the blue and white porcelain. Only the most suitable and evenly heated temperature can successfully fire this beautiful porcelain. However advanced the modern ceramics techniques have become, and no matter how many tools have been introduced into the ceramics making, the sagger retains its role. Like a real craftsman, only after going through the fire of reinvention can each piece of porcelain gain the adequate warmth of artistic expression and a human touch. Wang Yufeng, my new friend, wants to take me to experience a fun new firing method, which is different from anything I've ever seen before.
以前是从来都是高温烧的嘛，那么我们这次试一下，用这种低温的方法来烧一下这种，感觉一下它可能有不一样的地方。盖吧。哇！铜它其实在釉里面嘛，但是我们把它盖上之后，它会被还原出来，变成那种金属的颜色。
Artists from around the world find inspiration here and share their unique understanding of beauty. Generations of ceramics artists have built their world of innovation. They're here always learning, sharing, and communicating. It's not uncommon to see this kind of cultural inheritance in Jingdezhen. There are ceramics workshops with children learning clay arts at the night fair, and artists experimenting to renovate the traditional techniques. Fortunately, as my visit is about to reach its finale, I finally have the chance to meet the famous blue and white artist, Master Gan Daofu.
我这工作室展示的主要是现代青花。如果就是说你要把它定位为纯是兰花，那就太狭窄了。所以我们叫做青花，它不光包含着物质的一个材料，同时包含它背后的审美、文化、哲学，它的很多的意境在这里面。这个笔呢，笔肚子这个下面呢，你蘸点清水之后，然后笔尖。
The master said that blue and white first appeared in China's Tang Dynasty. In the culture of northern China, blue and white are an interpretation of natural growth. Blue represents spring, and white represents autumn. As a crystallization of cultural exchange, blue and white porcelain conveys a unique aesthetic complexity of the nation.
Wow, yeah.
For the past 10 years, Master Gendalfu has been dedicated to creative innovation of traditional Chinese blue and white porcelain. By combining the Chinese image with Western abstract art, he has created a glaze that naturally flows and softens, which later, with the assistance of the fire, turns into a natural and vivid pattern in blue and white. This glazing is a creation of casual natural force, whose beauty is beyond words. The fire makes porcelain out of clay. Meanwhile, Jingdezhen makes porcelain a name tag of China. Throughout history, Jingdezhen has always been a city without walls. Wherever you're from, you'll find a sense of belonging here. The city blooms great charm with its beautiful porcelain and artistic atmosphere. You'll love it.
One of the joys of coming to Jingdezhen is understanding the Chinese techniques, and for me it's been blue and white painting.
I actually created this before I come to Jingdezhen because China has been a huge influence to the UK ceramic industry, and obviously that's influenced me in my work. So while I was here, I was learning a lot of traditional blue and white painting.
The charm of blue and white does not stop at being a porcelain pattern. It is also a bond, which brings the cultural exchange in the world closer. Porcelain is a Chinese creation spread to the rest of the world. It's been taken to foreign cultures and brought back to China. In the process, it has undergone exchanges and a fusion of different cultures. In Jingdezhen, there are visitors from all around the world. Its prosperous fair has witnessed changes in time. In this wonderful land, the clay and the kiln continue to create new stories and new miracles. There are many people, like you and me, who are deeply obsessed with porcelain and are attracted to this reputed city. I followed blue and white porcelain back to its homeland, where I feel the warmth of the kiln.